So welcome everyone. So today we'll be discussing three views, three worldviews, um, three orientations that affect how we actually see the world. And it's a triple A. It's like just give you a little summary. It's action, awareness, and affection, and it's an evolution of consciousness. Um, so first one you see here is action. This is a kind of consciousness that if I do something, if there's a problem, how many of us when there is some problem we think I just got to work hard, I just got to get busy, I got to just get my feet in my hands in the dirt, get my feet on the ground, and just get moving. So that's the kind of action orientation. And the awareness is it's very polar opposite. It's it's a real disentanglement from this world, what they call karma sannyas, giving up the things of this world, just seeing it as, well, the first one's like, I shape reality by what I do. The other one's like, I don't know if this is reality whatsoever. Let me kind of observe and disentangle. And the last one's about connection. So how many of you, any of you know who this personality is here on the right hand side? Do you know? Can you guess who that is? Anybody on this side of the room? Any guesses? Okay. I'm sure maybe Nitai, Nara. Any guess who's the...
I don't want to say because I want to get somebody else.
Okay. Who's on the left side? Who's on the left side? Anyone know that one? Narad, yes. He's a great transcendental personality who is said to pass through time. He's not of this world. And similarly, on the right-hand side, you have a personality known as Vyasadeva. So Vyasadeva is understood to be the compiler of the Vedas. So what are the Vedas? Vedas means spiritual knowledge. And it's very different from what we're used to in the West. In the West, you have like kind of this line. God says this, if you cross this line, you're going to hell. If you stay on this side of the line, you're good. That's kind of what the Abrahamic kind of view. This is the line. God has told you the rules. You follow the rules. You go to heaven. You don't follow his rules. You don't oblige yourself to these rules. Burn in hell. But what Vyasa has presented is actually a path for all types of people. Different paths. Did it stop the recording? Still going on?
Yes.
Okay. Somehow someone called. So the next part of the literature is called the Upanishads. Upanishad means to sit up close. It means having deep spiritual talks. And that section is all about spirituality. The first section you could say is kind of like religion, and the other section's like spirituality. What would you say is some of the differences between religion and spirituality? Dogma. What is like religion concerned with? Like, what are some of the concerns? Rules, policy, morals, yeah. Appearance, organization. What would be also one of the goals of religion? Maybe salvation, conversion, controlling of others, political control, yes. Enrichment. Maybe, yeah, it could be also like, if you follow religion, then life will be nice. It's like, here's the cheat codes. This is the game, and here's the cheat codes. You play it nicely, you're gonna enjoy everything. You're gonna get just like if you're in a game and you know how to do. You get the blue something sword or something. You get some kind of special thing. And then what about spirituality? What would be the kind of what would be some of the defining qualities that would make it something different from religion?
It's applicable to any religion.
So it has a more of a metaphysics, kind of a universal. It's not drawing lines between particular groups and things like that. Yeah.
Transcendent.
Transcendent.
It's individual.
Individual. Enlightening. Connected to God. So the spirituality, that was a good one, is that there's maybe their sense of wanting to be more aware and become enlightened or conscious, where religion might not be like, I want to be more conscious, but just more, I just want to make sure I'm on the right side of the line so I can enjoy. I can set myself up. And so although the Upanishads are actually part of the four Vedas, you have these four Vedas, Rig, Sama, Yajur, and Atharva Veda, and each of those have four divisions. And the last of those divisions are called the Upanishads. And although it's part of the same book, part of the same literature, it's called something different because they're just so drastically different. The Vedas are all about action. Do something, get something. Do something, get something. Well, the Upanishads are saying, what's the point of this game? How many lifetimes have you played this game? Upanishads first deal with consciousness. First of all, you're not the body. And so getting a little point, it's like you're playing, who was I speaking with? Oh, yes, you. Today. And you're saying when you were younger, you said, I wish when I was young, I had invested so much time in I was so good at this game.
Yeah, I should have been worrying about my future self instead of being good at a video game or something.
Yeah. You said I got this, how many, a garden, or what was the different thing?
I had a lot of focus when I was younger, I had this so much power of focus that I just devoted to nothing, this frivolous stuff.
Yeah.
That I could have devoted to something important to me today.
So you're dealing with this worldview. One is action and the other one is awareness. And the awareness worldview is like, I want to be conscious. And in that sense of consciousness, there is a sense of disentanglement, that this world is like a game, a VR. And I've put so much time and energy into it. And by becoming more conscious, I can see that nothing in this world can really, truly satisfy me. So the religionists might be kind of more like, let me play the game nice, and then I'll get things and things will be nice. But the spiritualist is like, it's kind of a waste of time. And so that's why you have these four Vedas, and the Upanishads are part of that. But because their message is so drastically different, it's actually considered like different literature. Vyasadeva, he put together all these books. You have the Vedas, Upanishads, Puranas, and Vedanta. Now, any of you have read some Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita? Now, one thing that might not be apparent when you read Prabhupada's translation, because he really presents the entire conclusion at the very beginning. There was a terrible 1976. There was a terrible plane crash, Tenerife. There was two planes had collided to each other on the runway. It was over 700 people died. It was the deadliest crash that took place, and it was all because of a mistake in communication. The tower said okay, and the person said okay, and they didn't really know what that okay meant, and they both went right into each other, and 700 people died. So since that time, you can't say okay. There's certain terminology, certain things that are made to be very, very clear. Why? Because if you're not clear, you could end up in a very dangerous, deadly situation. So um, sometimes if you look up like a movie, it'll say like a spoiler alert. And so Prabhupada's translations are actually spoiler alerts. They in the early parts of like chapter 2, chapter 3, different items of chapter 10, chapter 12, more conclusive is kind of blended into a lot of the purports, but even some of the translations kind of point to later passages of Krishna as said later in the Bhagavad Gita. And so sometimes the conflict that Arjuna is experiencing. So Bhagavad Gita is Arjuna, he is coming from these two worldviews. What's the first worldview? Action. And the Vedic literature, it's understanding there's all kinds of people in this world. So one type of person who is in the action worldview is called a vikarmi. A vikarmi means I do whatever I want, and I try to benefit myself however I can. And then there is something a little higher that's called a karmi, someone who understands, wait a minute, there's actually ways the world works. I have to be nice. I have to be charitable. I have to take care of others. I have to play the game right. Then my life will be nice. Not just in this life, but in the next life. And so that person is kind of like a religious materialist, and that's in the Vedic, ancient Indian conception. This is, you have what is just the ordinary person who doesn't have any type of kind of metaphysical outlook that there is things that the way the world works, where the other person is like, no, we have to we have to do these things at least so we can enjoy. You know, we are ourselves charity cases where people have taught us, people have fed us. There's people in our society who have fought and died to protect particular rights that we have. So we have charity that also give back. So they have this kind of, let me do the things nice in this world, and so I can also enjoy. So play the game nicely. And so within that, there is the kind of concept of duty. Arjuna is a warrior. Just like if someone's a policeman and he sees in the alleyway or somebody's being attacked and the people are saying, hey, this person's getting attacked, go save them. And then the police officer looks and he's like, that's my cousin. The attacker. He's like, I'm not going to enjoy that. And they're like, no, you're stupid. That's your duty. It doesn't matter if it's like, it's not so nice that you have to like arrest your own cousin, maybe even like punch him in the face to stop him from hurting this other person. So this sense of duty is there. And with that, it's tied to the sense of this action worldview. You do things nice in this world, you act properly in this world, and you get a good life. There's a little seed of awareness in there. Can you guess where it could be? I'll mention one little thing. Anybody guess? Seed of awareness that's in there.
You're thinking about the future more?
Yeah, and future life. They were like, wait a minute. Future life means this is not everything. So there's a...
YOLO.
Not YOLO, yeah. It's not you only live once. But so there's that seed that's in that kind of, that process of vikarmi to next level karmi, where it's like you're practicing living nicely in this world with the objective of gaining the benefit of that. So Arjuna is told, like, do your duty, be spiritual, and do your duty. And he's like scratching his head. He's saying, you're telling me two different things. The awareness worldview is the worldview of, what's the point of this game? You're eternal. Why? You're playing a video game. What's the point if you get more points on the next level? Get out of the game. The first action worldview is this world is your playground, play nicely, get stuff. The second worldview, awareness, is this world is not a playground. It is a prison. You are locked in the matrix. Become enlightened. You know, what is the blue pill or the red pill? I forget which one it is. Take the red pill. Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, he's saying, forget this blue pill, forget this worldly life of what's your duty and everything. Be spiritual, leave it, become like a yogi, live in the forest and meditate and come to a stage of enlightenment and leave everything behind. And here comes Krishna telling him, be spiritual, do your duty. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And it's chapter 3. And then he's like, I don't understand what you're talking about. And then again in chapter 5, Arjuna is constantly telling Krishna, God, you're confusing. And it's encouraged. It's encouraged. It's not like, how dare you? How you are damned to hell for questioning thy Lord, my dogma. But he's just constantly asking questions to the point where he says the English word is equivocal, but it just means, Krishna, you're confusing. That's what Arjuna says. I'm confused. Can you tell me to do? You're telling me two different things, and it's not making sense. And that's because Arjuna was having this kind of, you have the thesis and the antithesis, and he's not seeing any type of synthesis. So the thesis is what? Action, play nice, get stuff. Antithesis is no, become aware, leave it behind. And so there's this conflict that is there. Maybe you can perhaps even think on yourself, like when you're in a troubling situation, where does your mind go? Does it go to action? Does it go to like contemplation? Or perhaps even like connection? So Vyasadeva, he had compiled all this Vedic literature. It's understood that just like within the air, you have a cellular connection. And the cellular connection, there's so much data that is there. And if you have the right technology, you can access it. And so they understood that the yogis could access eternal knowledge, that it was akashvani, eternal knowledge, just like we have this data that's flowing through this airspace right now. And so he took what was one body of knowledge and he started to organize it so people could more easily understand it. And he started to put it into literature form. So he did the 4 Vedas, then he did the Upanishads, then the Puranas and Vedanta. Vedanta is 600 very, very, very short verses. It's kind of like how you have like an index of a book. It kind of puts everything in like just short phrases. And with this, he had this hope that people would have access to the knowledge that they need to evolve and get the best out of life. But something wasn't right. Something just didn't sit right in his heart. Unrelated, but I heard a really nice point yesterday. What we were sharing it earlier is like if somebody does something, like if you're a business leader or a political leader and you cheat people, like the cosmic law is that you can't be peaceful. You might get away with it, but in your heart, it doesn't work. You can't. It just doesn't work. But in a different way, this personality, he had this very compassionate nature and he wanted to help. And he's understood as an empowered being. You have this term, Shakti Avesh Avatar. What does the word Shakti mean? Power. So if you stick like a metal fork into the outlet there, you'll get a direct perception of Shakti. And Vesh is what? Clothing. So Shakti Vesh, empowered. clothed with power. So Shakti Vesh avatar. Abba is where we get the Spanish word abajo. So when the divinity comes down to this world or empowers somebody on his behalf. And so Jesus is understood to be Shakti Vesh avatar. Means ontologically not the same as the original deity, but empowered. Therefore, like who was running for president like 15 years ago and lost? We don't remember. Who was president 15 years ago? We don't even remember. Who was Miss America 10 years ago? We don't remember. Who won the Olympics for the U.S. 20 years ago? No, we don't remember. Michael Phelps. Yeah. I actually, yeah. He has there's some good things on like meditation. He had this kind of he really kind of meditated on his he did this kind of where he would envision everything beforehand. We brought him up in a previous class, Michael Phelps. But somebody like Jesus, you don't forget. People don't forget. It's been thousands of like 2,000 years, and it's still this strong impression. So this is called a Shakti Vaishavatar, a person who it's a soul, but has a special power to carry out a particular mission. So Vyasadeva, similarly, is empowered by Krishna. But he felt that he had some dissatisfaction in his heart. And he was like, I presented all this literature for the purpose of giving enlightenment to the world, but why do I not feel satisfied? And you see this painting here, he's meeting with Narada. There's another one I have where he looked a little bit sad. And so he spoke to his teacher, his guru, Narada. And Narada said, well, you haven't really spoke about the actual yoga, the actual connection of the soul and God. You've spoken about it in a very, here and there and here and there. But we're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of books of thousands and thousands and thousands of pages. Even just one tiny section of the literature you can't even read in one lifetime. He said, how is someone able to make sense and understand what's at the heart of it? What is the essence? So there's awareness worldview. It gives you this distinction, this understanding that I'm something different from matter. But there still can be a sense of dissatisfaction. We were discussing earlier, a couple weeks ago, the Twilight Zone episode. Have you ever seen Twilight Zone? It's old, very old film, American, not film, but TV show. The 60s, I think it was 50s or
Black and white.
Black and white. It's very old, yeah. And they always had some really trippy kind of. All of them had some kind of cool message and very short. Each one was its own individual story. And so one of them was this man he's in prison on an asteroid, and every year the ship comes over to drop off supplies, and so the ship comes and tells the guy, hey, with some good news, we're working on your case. It looks like things might change. He's there for life for like a murder case. And he said, I brought a gift for you. And he opens up this crate, and in the crate is this robot, but it looks like a human woman. And he's like, how pathetic you think I am? I'm not going to have a relationship with ChatGPT. Like, this is how ridiculous you think I am. And so he turns out in the robot, and she's like, hey, how you doing? How's it going? And he's like, get away from me. And he actually pushes this robot, and then she falls over to the side, and a tear comes out of her eye. And he's, oh, I'm so sorry. And so the guy, a year passes, he comes back with the ship of supplies. And he sees the guy, and he says, oh, good news, you've been proven innocent. It's time to go. You can leave this prison. And he said, okay, good. I just, me and Mary, we got to go pack. He said, get your things and we'll go. And he's like, no, you can't take that thing with you. We have just a limited, like if you have a hat or a shirt or something else you want to bring. He said, I can't live without Mary. And the pilot takes a gun out and then shoots the robot in the face, and it falls over and it shows its robotic face. And then the guy says, thank you. So this is kind of the mood of the awareness worldview. It's very cutting, it's all about detachment. And it's a sense of this world has nothing really to offer you. But there still is a longing for connection that is part of the self. Like, for example, just imagine you're in a terrible storm. In New York City, it's like it's coming down like insane. A couple years ago, I remember it was like you would run to the subway. It's like you go around like a couple blocks, and it's just like you've been hosed down. It was like completely. So maybe in such a storm, you may go to like one of your local banks and you like use your card and you get into that little area where the ATMs are. Still, the bank is closed, but you got this little place where the ATM is. And you're there for a half hour, you're there for an hour, you're there for 2 hours. But after like 2 hours, you're like, I don't care if the weather's terrible. I'm gonna go back out because I want connection. That's the idea. Is that the nature of the self is it wants connection. You're in peace. You're on the stage of peace. You're freedom from distress, but still there's this other level of connection. So this brings us to the third worldview, is the worldview of affection. This worldview it takes the duty of the action worldview, but it combines it with the awareness or the wisdom of the awareness worldview. In Sanskrit, these three worldviews and these three stages are called karma, which literally means action, jnāna, which means knowledge, or even more apt, awareness, and bhakti, affection. Now, the thing about the approaches of these different worldviews, the paths that match them, each one has a particular characteristic. So the action worldview is it's kind of for the beginners, but the awareness worldview, you can't really jump to the awareness worldview until you're kind of done with the desire to enjoy this world. If you still want to enjoy this world, you can't really merge yourself and jump into this awareness worldview. Therefore, it says, work in the world, but be detached. Work in the world and be detached. And you start to develop some awareness. So there's some type of pre-qualification that is there. But the last one, bhakti, affection, although it is an evolution of consciousness, it doesn't have a type of limitation that is there. For example, to the action worldview, there's limitation of your particular, like you're engaging your duties in this world. But what if you're not employed? What if there's kind of the particular prerequisites that are there? Awareness, you have to have some type of intelligence and type of very conscious intelligence. But the affection, the path that is for affection, is really universal. It's something that a child can apply. There's even stories of animals applying this quality and becoming spiritually involved. It's not limited by age. It's not limited by any type of where you are in life. If you're very wealthy and you're immersed in this life, or you've given up everything in this life, there's no type of like limitation. So it's like college level, but as soon as you enter this college, it's like you're given a high school and middle school and elementary school diploma just by the desire to enter into it. But even in this bhakti path, there are considerations of these two other stages. For example, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Mai vesha mano ye mam nitya yukta upasate shadaya paryopetaste me yukta mo. Maya Vishnu. That's number 2. Maya vesha mano ye. I think that's verse 2. I'm looking for verse. This is chapter 12. Chapter 12 is really nice. There is a middle section. It's giving various my eva. It's supposed to start with my eva mana adatsva my buddhim nivesha nivasyasi my eva atat urdvam na shamshaya. So my eva mana adatsva. Mana means your heart. Always have your heart fixed on me, on God. So that's the top. My buddhim niveshaya. What if you can't do that? This is talking about constant meditation, constant, and this is not something that you're even trying. It is just like natural attraction. If you tell some teenager who's fallen in love with some girl or boy or whatever, it's like you tell him. You don't have to tell him always think of that person. It's like the mind is just like it's like first thing of their thoughts in their morning and they go to bed. It's like this constant absorption. He says, well, if you can't be there, then mai buddhim niveshaya, use your spiritual intelligence and grab your heart and then place it on me. Mai buddhim niveshaya. These are also called, there are different stages in yoga. There's this abhyas, manana, and nididhyasana. Abhyas, manana, and nididhyasana. So this manana is like constantly using your intelligence and placing your heart on that transcendental source. And then he says, or first one is like, just use your intelligence and place your heart on that source. But what if you can't do that? He says, Abhyasa yegana tato mam ichatum dhananjaya. If you can't do that, then practice doing that. So the first one is Maya eva manadatsva, Maya buddhim nivesha, Nivyasya Maya eva, atat urvam nashamshaya, atat chittam samadhatum. If you can't constantly do that with your consciousness, atat chittam samadhatum, nashakshnosi Maya stiram steadily, then just keep on practicing it. So if your heart's not automatically flowing that way, then use your intelligence to place your heart there. If you can't do that, then practice doing that. Abhyasa yogena tato. Abhyasa means practice. Maybe some of you heard this word in yoga class. Abhyasa yogena tato mam ichatum. And in this way, icha, the desire will come. And what happens is the mind just follows desire. The mind always chases what it desires. And so a transcendental desire will be invoked in the mind by this practice. And so the mind will be directed towards the absolute. So then he says, Abhyase pi asamartosti karta mad yogam ashrita. Abhyase pi samartosti. Let's see. Abhyase pi asamartosti. Mad artam abhyase pi samartosi mad karma paramo bhavad mad artam apikarmani kurvam sinham avapsasi. He says, well, if you can't do this with your heart, you can't do this with your intelligence, then just do it with your body, with your actions. Mat karma, because doing things for me, doing things for God is the highest. Parama, mat karma paramo bhava. Madartam apikaramani kurvam, and in this way you will achieve perfection. So this is taking account that people might be not so aware or not even high in their affection, but they want to be. So he says you can just start with action, but action directed towards affection, towards divinity. And he says you will achieve perfection, siddhim, through that. And then if you're a little bit of, so with each tool, you have one tool is the body, and the heart and the intelligence follows it. The next tool is the intelligence, and the body and the heart follow. And the last tool is the heart, and the intelligence and the body follows. So this tool, if you work with your intelligence, your heart, more internal the tool, the more powerful the transformation. If you work with your intelligence, powerful transformation, but not as powerful as transformation with the heart. And if you work with the body, very good. You will achieve perfection, but it's not as powerful as working that intelligence and working that heart. So someone might come to this temple and like, let me do service. Let me do service. Very good. And then after doing that, we might do that for a while, and then we're like, wait, why am I doing this? Where should my consciousness be? We start engaging our intelligence and examining our heart. What's my motivation? And so these three, actually, just what is this? 2 verses. And it's just 2.
What's the chapter and verse?
Chapter 12,
Okay.
and that's beginning with text 8, 9, and 10. And then he keeps on going. He says, even if you can't do that, then if you're not attracted to like the spiritual connection with me, then you can practice just working with detachment. You can do charity. He said, you can't do that. You can do this. He keeps on going. Like there's always a step. There's always another step. And so you have kind of 3 major worldviews, but you have one worldview that also employs those who are in the other worldviews, that it has something for them as well. Whereas the other 2 worldviews are for people of a specific consciousness, where the affection worldview, it's universal. It has something for even people of that are not necessarily there yet, but have some inclination, like that looks nice. I would hope to be there. So those are some few ideas from the Bhagavad Gita. I'll stop here and see if there's some reflections, comments, or questions. I'll start with
just to summarize. So you're talking about this is AAA service.
AAA service.
All our cars are messed up, and we had to call Nityananda Chandra to get us fixed up. And the first A is action, or in Sanskrit, karma. And that's the attitude of I need to do something. Usually, if you're just talking about karma, I need to do something to get something.
Mm.
And, or, kind of we were comparing it to like religion or, religion. And then there's the more spiritual or transcendental. Okay, is it on?
It just goes to the microphone, so it's
Is it
louder.
on? Do I need to turn it on?
No, it's on. Yeah.
And then the second A was action, awareness, and affection. So awareness is more spiritual,
That's the jnāni.
is the jñāni, is the sick of the material world, is the shoot the robot in the face, shoot the sex robot in the face that has like bewitched you. And they don't want to do anything. They want to stop playing the video game. And then you've got,
And the Upanishads are like that. They're just like,
forget
this
we're talking
whole
about the Vedas.
thing. Yeah.
Vedas are action, Upanishads are awareness. And
so if you ask,
do we talk about the Puranas and Vedanta in relation to those?
Not really. I kind of
Not
skipped
really.
all that. Yeah.
And then we have action, awareness, and affection. And then you demonstrated, or you showed how Krishna explained the position of affection, and that it's the most deepest tool that we can use, and therefore it's the most powerful. If we can use all to get, affection can be, if we're just using our body to do service, that's one thing. But then getting our mind involved, that's even deeper. But then actually getting our heart involved, that's the deepest and the most powerful transformation. And if our heart's involved, then it's, that's pretty much what I got.
Okay.
Did I miss anything?
I think you got everything. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that was amazing. Thank you for helping me.
Most of this is
understand.
from Kashtuba's classes in Rishikesh. They're really good.
You have to say.
Yeah, Bhagavad Gita in 3 lenses. This is one of the 3 lenses. It's just the 3 worldviews. Usually he says action, affection. He says action, knowledge, and love. But I like the AAA. I like
No,
action,
yeah,
awareness, and affection.
making things all the same like that makes it easier to remember.
Yeah, he has a Bhagavad Gita in 3 lenses, and so this is the lens of kind of motivation. Then there's a lens of clarity, and then he has a lens of realization.
You have to send me those.
They're really good. They're really good. Would you have anything? What would you like to take home with you today? Anything you've heard so far?
I'm just, I've been, no, I love it all. I've been at the stage where, thank you, the love one, sometimes I get, it doesn't matter what the outer world's doing if you get to that love point. So you've done all the work, and say you do the mind, the body, and then you have all this love in you. But let's say the people that are around you aren't there yet. That's what I get a little like, that's hard. Okay, you go about your life, you're there, and you feel it, and they know you feel it, and that you're at that point, but you can get very rejected at that point by the world. Don't you think?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Especially, well, anywhere. I'm not going to say especially one place, but going about your day, like you can be attacked just for existing, especially these days. So I get curious about that. How do you deal with that?
So there is a very interesting statement by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that Prabhupada repeated, that a spiritualist is like a spouse cheating on their husband.
Oh, wow. Spicy.
So a spouse who's cheating will do everything so nicely. They don't want suspicion. They don't want to. They don't want to mess up the game they got going on. And so they do everything nice in that relationship, but the motivation is not because of the relationship. Their motivation is, I got my secret lover. And so the saint can be very worldly, very much in the world, but they're cheating on it because they got God as their secret lover. And so they may act in a way that is like the karmi, very busy and very dutiful and very looking for success, but in a way just to inspire people who are like that, but doing it not with that motivation, I want gain, I will change my situation, but rather like I had this nice like I had a nice question. This student came up to me a couple weeks ago, and he first he asked what the mantra meant, and then he said, the thing about success is it's a little getting successful in something, that's not such a big deal, but holding on to it, what about that? Holding on to success, that's it. I said, well, the thing is, I gave him some of the awareness, the jnāni, the cutting. The thing about success is you're guaranteed to lose it. Guaranteed. You're guaranteed that time is going to destroy every thing that you've built up. But if your endeavor was you just did as a dedication, as an offering, then whether your successful plan of business or this or that, if it was an offering, it doesn't matter if it succeeded or failed, because your time was meant in service. It was done in service. And he was like, that was it's like, whether that's the kind of detachment is there. It's like, this is, I'm just offering this.
And that's when you get to that point, naturally, it's purpose.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That makes more sense. Thank you.
Some reflections from this side of the room. Anything to take home with you, or some questions?
So, I would love to respond, because I'm going through that right now, where it feels weird in the world and it feels like an attack. And I'm reminded of of my intention and my journey of what I've been through to get to that part. And although the attacks feel very harsh, I'm reminded if my intentions are pure and they remain the same or remain in the higher level of me, then I'm a reflection of what I am putting out in the world. So I then become an example, like a lead by example kind of a thing. And then I start to wear it and I start to smell like it. I start to look like it. And the goal is to, I hope people are picking it up. I don't know. But first I'm, protecting myself and then continuing on that journey. So, and also moments like this is very important to me because I know I'm in the right place. I've been looking for a community. I've been looking for new language for what I'm experiencing. So I'm on the journey still. I'm in the right place and you're in the right place too. We're all in the right place. So it helps to switch that perspective. And what I'm taking home, just so many thanks. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is what I like to use different language. This is what I prayed for. This is what I manifested. This is what when I meditated and did not know what the journey would look like. This is where I am to receive in a place where I am being attacked, But, I look at the attack as the part of the journey, wash away the pain. And I am big on visuals because language can be a lot for me. So when you were explaining the 3 stages, in my mind, I'm seeing and remembering what it looks like to play double dutch. When you have someone doing the ropes, 2 people doing the ropes, and then you have a person jumping, and just like the image of it all, of the ropes doing, almost like a Venn diagram, and then someone jumps in and then jumps out, and there's it doesn't go on forever. It stops. This might be a mistake, but it's just like this concept that is like continuously going and a cipher almost that's happening. That is how my brain did an imagery of what was spoken today. So thank you so
Oh,
much.
cool.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you. Anyone else? Anybody? You have anything you take home with you today? Any questions, reflections?
I'm just thankful to be here, and was very inspiring lecture, very structured how you presented the Bhagavad Gita. It was very interesting, and thank you very much. It was really good. Thanks.
Yeah, I thought these two, the main ones, these worldviews of action and awareness, we might not. We're getting like when you read it, it's like we get the whole thing. The first couple verses, it's like we don't understand Arjuna's like tension. It's like he really just had 2 worldviews, and it's prominent in this world. Most people, it's like you're either material and you're part of this world, or you're spiritual and you're like a monk, and that's it. And these are just 2 different things, and I don't understand any type of integration, any type of synthesis. So it's good to like kind of separate it to like understand how it comes together.
One thing that reminds me is how Prabhupada translated Bhakti. Most people would translate it just as devotion or affection or something, but he said devotional service. So he was trying to like connect it.
Yeah, and pure
devotional service.
Any on this side of the room? How about our youngest guest? What will you take home today? Anything? Also the young at heart, yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Aaron,
I would like to add something.
Oh, please, yes.
I really enjoyed because I called New York City before coming here. I said, oh my God, we're going to the city of desire. And we have I'm constantly thinking about the empire because I'm half Korean, and I see all the stuff which I know from Korea.
Yeah.
And I realized, oh my God, all the things that I thought are Korean are actually American. So I'm noticing like how strong empire is and how much it influenced the world.
Oh.
And at the same time, we've been to like, I think 3 kirtans today. And I know yesterday we went to Washington Square Park, and it was incredible kirtan. Like the people were like chanting, and we were like all in ecstasy. Like passengers started to dance.
Yeah.
And it was so spontaneous. It wasn't like a planned festival.
Yeah.
So, and then we went afterwards, we were invited to another kirtan. And the show went on and on, and we were super blissed out. So we had that contrast, like the presence of empire, but at the same time, like all this bhakti and all these people from all races, and so like a very deeply moving stay for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
And New York's very special. Bhakti is alive in New York City.
The empire and the resistance.
The resistance.
Yeah, or not, like resistance sounds to me a bit like, like an opponent, but
Yeah.
I think like bhakti goes beyond.
Yes,
So you're like exiting that
Yeah.
kind of game, like that duality, I guess.
Yeah, like the action kind of worldview is like, I want pleasure. And the awareness worldview is like, no, there is no pleasure. Forget about pleasure. But Bhakti's like, no, there's an ocean of pleasure. Here, come and jump into this kirtan. It's an ocean.
There's an ocean of pleasure, but it's not material.
Yeah, it's not material, but there's an ocean of pleasure. Okay, so I think we can stop here. Om Tat Sat. Thanks a lot. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So these are some things I suggest if you want to get deeper. There's the Wisdom of Sages podcast is one of the fastest, easiest ways to get deeply immersed, well educated, and also just spiritually nourished on a regular basis. You can listen to, we got Raghunathan and Kaustubha, great teachers. Also easy listening. They're hilarious. And they're both very good teachers. Much of what I taught today was based on Kaustubha's classes, recent classes in India. There's a database. You can get all the books there. I do have a blog that I publish. I write some articles there. You can see it there. And we will end with a little short kirtan, and then we're going to serve you the dinner right here.